we all play our part, but it's really nice to play that part to others that have got a really big group, and help them, because you're helping everyone. This is how it goes. It flows on. So everyone here in this group has a circle of students. So you're getting your help. It's not just coming from me, it's coming from everyone. And then you go out and you help, and then the people you help, they've got a circle and they help them. And so the circles overlap, but it's like he talks about it, something about this interconnecting web of miracles. So the miracles going out, and everybody's got their own students, and it's not in a professional capacity at all. It's just people that you're in, and you don't even know you're helping them half the time, because you're just helping by whatever you say and do. Even practicing forgiveness is helping them. That's how it works. So you just become free of how you're doing it, who's getting what, how it works, but you start to see it working, and you're just a little cog in a huge big wheel. Everybody's the same cog. We're all the same cog. No one's a bigger cog than anyone else, because the wheels. So we're all just doing our bit, and all we need to do is just to surrender to. We just have everything corrected that needs correcting. Let go of the world, the values in the world, as much as you can, bit by bit, and just come back to the love that you are. Come back to know that love that you are, and then extend it. That's all you can do. It's not like you say, I'm going to extend love. You naturally do it because your mind's been healed of the fear to love. So naturally, you don't even have to do anything, because you're like a light. A light doesn't, when a light turns on, it doesn't say, I'm going to shine my light here, there and everywhere. It just naturally shines, and you're seeing with the light, because the light is just shining, and that's what we're like. We're just lights shining out, but we have to be connected to the source before we can shine. We have to be connected to God before we can shine. So you can't, the light, the lamp will not shine on its own. You can't go out and try to be the light. You have to connect to the electricity source to shine. And so that's what we do. When we connect in, we become just a light. And we don't say, okay, I'm going to stop shining on this part of the room or that person. We're shining everywhere all the time. And that's it. And really that's the simplicity of it. It is very natural and simple. But when you're in the darkness, you can't get to the light unless you plug in. So it's like, if you can imagine, say, a little bit of an analogy is that you can't shine that light until you've charged the battery. So the battery's got to charge up first. So you plug in, and the battery charging is like the mind training, and then you're shining. So there's some little bit in between where the darkness is taken out of your mind and replaced with the charging up. So the battery's going up. You can see the battery charging, which is the mind is getting healing. It's getting more right-minded thoughts in it. And that's and you don't know where your battery is. You can't really see how full it is. That's quite a nice little analogy. So with this group, the part of this group is similar to what we used to run the Wednesday night groups at. With the sharing, after you share where you're at the moment, we do a forgiveness prayer, which is anything you want to do, but I just encourage you to say something along the lines, I'm Holy Spirit, I give these thoughts, I give this upset, this guilt, this fear, this boredom, this whatever it is you're feeling, you give it over to the Holy Spirit, and then you feel this really sort of deep calling of your heart where you feel like you want to be free of it. You really want to be free of it. So you feel into that, I want to be free of this feeling. I really want to be corrected. I don't know how that's going to happen, but I really want to be free of it. So Holy Spirit, bring something into my mind that's going to replace whatever I'm feeling and thinking. Help me see this differently. Help me see the situation or the person or whatever it is differently, because I'm not at peace. So I'm willing to be wrong about it. So I give you what I'm currently holding on to, and I ask you to bring me another way so that I can be at peace. So we ask you to say something along those lines of that prayer, because that is their dedication. So it's inviting the Holy Spirit in to correct it. And then we don't know, that might come in like Annie's doing some writing sessions, and then the actual form will be provided, or something will come into your mind, or you'll see a movie and something will help you see something differently, or you'll listen to some music and you'll hear some lines out of the music, and you'll just get something will be used to change that. So all we need to do is just be inviting the Holy Spirit to help us change our minds about the situation. So we just really want to say, look, I don't want this anymore. Help me. We can't get ourselves out of it because we're stuck in it. We're like a little a record playing, with the with a needle stuck in a rut. We can't get out of that rut because we're going over and over and over the same thoughts. So we have to have something come in and lift the needle and put it somewhere on the record. And that's playing another tune, because when we're in the ego, we're stuck like over and over in the same loop of thoughts and beliefs. And we can't get ourselves out of that by ourselves, because we're calling on the ego thoughts to answer the ego, and the ego will only give you solutions based on attack and withdraw and unloving acts. So if you go to the ego for a solution to what the ego's problem, it will tell you to attack more, to withdraw more, to leave the person. It will never tell you a true answer. So that's why you have to really call on Jesus and the Holy Spirit for an answer, a true answer. And it could be that you just apply the daily lesson, or you read something in the course. So the answer is always to get quiet and quieten your mind and ask, because you can hear more. Now for me, I like to practice meditation because it quietens my mind. But any technique you use to get to quietness, and then invite Jesus and the Holy Spirit in and say, look, I really want to be free of all this rubbish in my mind. I want to see it differently. And the reason why we say I want to see it differently is that when we have another way of seeing it, we might get a different perspective. There's something. So we can't even talk about the answer, because the answer will come in a way that suits you. And it just comes in. The Spirit uses everything in the world to show you. So we just have to do our part in just asking. Our part is so little, to just invite the Holy Spirit, invite Jesus in and say, look, I want to be free of this. So that's sort of how we do our group. But having said that, our group has been going for a while now, and people are actively doing that quite a bit. So this group, people will be sharing things. So we've made it a little bit less strict, because people are going into their own activation of things, practicing it in their own way. So but if you are if you are in a really big upset right at the moment, I would ask you to express it and then say that prayer. So because otherwise, if you just express the upset, you're just in the loop. You're stuck there, and you're not inviting the Holy Spirit in to help shift it, so you're not accepting the atonement for yourself. So it's okay to be in the upset, but it helps develops a consistent application of forgiveness. We can get symbols that show us things, or we can see it's like it's starting to heal the perception. So it's like a new meaning comes in of the images. The images are giving you a new meaning in your mind, that the Holy Spirit is here and that things are working. I think you've brought that up before about, thinking that you have to join people in, that the misery is not out there, it's what we're projecting on it. So even when you're watching the news and you're seeing it, it's actually in your mind, especially if you're thinking that whatever's there, it's always in you. So it's always important to take responsibility for it, because there's nothing that can harm us here in the world, because we're not a body. I'm not a body. I am free. I am as God created me. So the best thing you can do for all the other minds that are trapped in that belief that they're a body, the best thing you can do is to demonstrate that you're unaffected by anything in the world, that you're unaffected, and that's it. That's the only thing that you can do that can be helpful. Yeah, your certainty is what is needed, your certainty. And even if you haven't got certainty now, we're going there. We're coming to certainty. We're on a course. We're taking a course every day, and how long it takes as long. And it's sort of the paradox of that we're using time to get to timelessness, but use time wisely. Use time for its true purpose, to awaken from the dream, to know that it's just a dream, because there's nothing of God that can hold any cruelty, hold anything death, hold that anything changes. No part of God has anything that is changing. God is changeless love, infinite vast love. Anything here that we see that changes has no reality. It is an illusion. And we've created a world, seemingly world, but is there a world? Quantum physics say that the world is not what we think it is. It's like particles put together to congregate, to look like it's solid, but under a microscope it's all the same. Everything is the same. So this world is not what we think it is, but we can't go to that belief unless we're already really solid in the Course's teachings, because otherwise you have to have somewhere else to put your foundation. You can't change the foundation that you're already in unless you're creating a new foundation. That's why he says if you move too quickly, it can be more fearful than beatific. So it's important to take your time and allow yourself time to develop the trust in the new way of thinking, to allow it. So Robin, that goes for you too. Just allow yourself time. There's no rush. Just on a daily basis, this takes years to build up. Some people it's quicker, but don't compare. This is your journey. And you need to get that foundation of trust with the Holy Spirit and Jesus before you can truly let go of the world. So you might just start to see a few things that you value less in the world, don't make yourself wrong about valuing anything. It will get undone eventually, if not in this lifetime, the next. And it's all good. There's no rush. You know, it would be nice if it happened really quickly, but we wake up in the morning and we find ourselves as a body that needs to go to the toilet, have a wash and eat breakfast. And yet we're repeating, I am not a body, I am free. I am as God created me. So we're just moving more and more into the spirit of love, that I'm moving, I'm just like slowly unthreading, taking a thread away from the values and the attachments of the world, and coming more and more to hold myself that I am with this holy love, and that I was created as this love, and I'm with this love now, and I never left this love. And we're moving more into that invulnerable state, feeling ourselves as that invulnerable love that is not in a world but can use all the worldly things for new purposes. And that just takes time. And some days you're going to feel like you've done it really well, and other days you're going to feel like you didn't do well at all, that you're in your ego. It doesn't matter. Even if you're in the ego for your whole life, in truth, nothing's happened, because you never left God. You're just out of the awareness. So it doesn't matter what happens or how you do it, there's always an answer that it's okay. It's all right. We're all going to awaken. If not this lifetime, the next, or the one after that. And that's okay. That's all right. There's no, just relax. The most important thing is to just really go easy on yourself, and just every day just say, Holy Spirit, you know what I need to know today. I'm learning to trust you. I'm learning to hear you. I'm just like a little child learning. And I'm just here to learn. And and that's it. And just open up to just you'll get given something in your mind to do. The answer will come in some way. You're not going to know it. You'll just go. If you feel to go out for a walk, go out for a walk. When you're walking, I found a lot of the time things came in when I was walking, and I'd just get given something would come through, some like little answer or something to repeat to myself. And as I repeated it, I started to feel a little bit more peaceful. And then it started to build up a trust, because prior to going to the walk, I'd be upset. I'd feel guided to go for a walk, and maybe the walk just sort of got me in that state of mind where I wasn't at home thinking about all the things I had to do at home. Maybe going for the walk, my mind was able to quieten down a little bit, and then the Holy Spirit could get his answer through with a little saying or a word, and then I would repeat that, and it would bring me to peace. And that's it. It was just helpful in that moment to bring me to peace. And so it developed trust that the answer was coming in. So I started to say, okay, the answer is coming in. I don't always know when the answer is going to come in, or how it's going to come in, or what's going to be said, but I'm developing the trust that it will happen if I just let go and ask for it. Can I just get you to join me in a prayer? Okay, so if you just sort of repeat the words I'm going to say. So, Holy Spirit, I give you these thoughts that I don't know what to do.
I give you these thoughts that I don't know what to do.
I give you these thoughts that and just go, I want you to just say in your own words as what they represent for you, what these thoughts are that are causing you pain.
I give you these thoughts that I'd rather be dead. I give you these thoughts that I think about taking my life. I give you these thoughts that life is too hard. I give you these thoughts that I'm not strong enough to be in the world. I give you these thoughts that I can't cope in the world. I give you these thoughts that I'm not good enough, that I have to be something, I have to be somebody, that I'm not worth anything. I give you these fear thoughts. I give you these alone thoughts. I'm scared. I can't make it. I just give you all my fear thoughts.
Okay, so I want you to imagine like wrapping them up, all those fear thoughts that you just mentioned, just sort of seeing them all just getting wrapped up in like a big sheet, sort of all put together and a big knot tied on it, and just giving it, just feel yourself sort of pushing it up into the Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit, just say, Holy Spirit, you take these thoughts.
Holy Spirit, you take these thoughts.
I don't want them anymore.
I don't want them anymore.
Help me see this differently.
Help me see this all differently.
Above all else, I want to see this differently.
Above all else, I want to see this differently.
I want the peace of God above all else.
I want the peace of God above all else.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so just really just feel this. And so during the day, when those thoughts come back in, just keep giving them over and just saying, I don't want them. Just keep doing it as much as you can. Catch yourself when you just start to ruminate with those old past dead thoughts.
Mm-hmm. And
just keep giving them over and keep saying, Holy Spirit, I want to see this differently. I really want another view. I want a whole other mind to live in. I want to know how to perceive this differently. I want to let go of the current perception that I'm living in. Help me. And so, you can use whatever words you like, but it's really the calling of your heart that I want to be free. I want peace. So I'm letting go of being right about this view. And that's it. And so just rest then and just allow the Holy Spirit will activate or use something come into your mind and help you with something in some way. So don't be attached about when it's going to come in or how. Just know that the activation is done. It could take an hour, it could take a day, it could take a week. But all you need to do is just keep saying, Holy Spirit, help me. And keep making sure that you identify those thoughts and give them over. Okay, thanks, Kath. So that's good to identify. So this group is about forgiveness. Who else would like to speak? That's just such a wonderful teaching you gave us there about just becoming slowly aware of how the ego attacks. And just it's relentless in its attack. We're listening to a voice that's telling us lies about ourselves all day long, telling us you're wrong for this, you're hopeless, all those thoughts that Kat's saying, there it's just the ego. Just literally lying there, just listening to a voice that's lying to us about everything, everyone. It's just a pack of lies. We're like under the influence of it, and there's no way of getting out of it. I mean, I can really relate to where Kathy's at because I had all those same thoughts. The ego's like a tyrant. It just beats you up It just tells you you're this and that and hopeless, you never get anywhere, you're not going to get the course, everyone's doing better. But as you stick, Kath, I'd encourage you to come to this group every morning if you can, because as you stick with it, something just seems to shift. We're all in this together, because you start to see that everybody has the same thoughts as you. You start to see that you're not the only one that gets beaten up by the ego. You start to become aware, oh, I'm actually listening to the thoughts that actually don't really care about me. I'm listening to a voice, I'm listening to an ego, and you start to step back and become the observer of those thoughts rather than in those thoughts. When you're listening to the ego and you're caught up in them, you're caught up in a dream, you're caught up in an unreal reality. You're listening to a thought system that's completely unkind. It's hatred of you and hatred of others. And you can't escape without help. That's why it was important to learn to say the prayer, to invite the Holy Spirit in. It's really, and you don't have to repeat the prayer I'm saying. You can do it in your own way. You can remember to apply a daily lesson like Nikki does. And it all works together for good. There's no one way. Do what feels good for you. You have to own your own journey and do. You might feel, actually, I get a lot through meditating. I get quite a bit in, doing this and that. Just use whatever, because the Spirit knows the calling of our hearts, that we want to be free. But the Spirit and Jesus cannot come in and undo and correct our thoughts without us asking. While we're stuck in it, we're stuck in that groove, we're just stuck. We're just going over and over and over the same thoughts. I'm useless, I'm hopeless, this world's hopeless, I want out of here. I know that because I tried to commit suicide myself many times. I was stuck in it. So the only way out is to just keep asking for another way. I've got to get into a different way of thinking for me to feel better. So therefore, I've got to say, I have to choose against the thoughts that are there. I have to say, no, I don't want them anymore. I want other thoughts. If I want to be peaceful, I have to recognise, I have to gradually come to be aware that it's the thoughts that I'm choosing, I'm joining. I don't even know I'm joining them. It's the joining of those egoic thoughts is so quick and so fast. I don't even feel that there's any gap between me observing them. I'm just in them. So the way to be free is to just ask for help. And the help will come out if it's really from the calling of your heart.